Why did you choose a senior center for your placement?
I came here for an interview. I met with Anne Mary back in May. It looked like a wonderful atmosphere. Everyone was friendly and kind, and I love to help people, and this looked like a great place to do so.
I chose the senior center because it was a population I wasn't very familiar with, and it came highly recommended by my school.
What were your expectations coming to this placement?
I wasn't sure what to expect because I have never worked directly with elderly before, but I expect to learn a lot and to learn more about resources for the elderly.
I was looking for a blend of practical support for the clients and resources that were available in the community and learning about everything from that perspective, but also to have some exposure to clinical work as it relates to the clients.
What are some of the emotions you are experiencing?
Sometimes when I'm unable to help someone, I feel a little bit sad, maybe even anxious, but when I'm able to help them, it gives me satisfaction.
I think it's a little intimidating. There's a lot to learn. There are a lot of people to get to know, but it's also energizing in a way because I'm learning so much. It's all positive things. I feel like I can make a difference being part of the agency.
What do you hope to accomplish or gain from this placement?
I hope to learn how to become a great social worker. That's what I'm going to school for, and I feel the senior center will help me with that.
I'd like to leave this placement with a solid understanding of the population, the issues that are important to them, the resources that are available to them, and probably a better grasp on how to support the emotional and mental well-being of the clients, because I think there are, lots of very practical things to do, but then there are other needs that exist that I'd like to know how to attend to.
An ideal supervisor would be.
An ideal supervisor would be someone that listens to your concerns, that helps you when you need them, when you need them, and that's always there for you and that guides you.
An ideal supervisor would be a coach and a partner, someone who's willing to help develop the practical skills and the hands-on nuts and bolts of the work, but also helping to construct an idea of what the community is like and supporting those clinical, components of the work that is being done.
Do you remember how you felt your first week interning?
I remember being extremely nervous, and I was really apprehensive because even though I had worked with older adults for the past 5 years, it was in a big city. So coming to a smaller community, I was more nervous that there was going to be a lack of resources, and that made me really concerned.
Yes, I do. That's a year ago, and I felt very nervous because I have never worked in that field before. I have never worked at an agency. I was really nervous but also excited.
I do. So when I had first started here at the COA, it was on the understanding that I was going to kind of be a liaison between the COA and the Veteran Service Officers Department. And being a veteran myself, I thought it'd be a really good experience. That was my focus, the veterans' focus. But there was a little bit of workplace culture issues going on there, and I pretty much So I had a hard time because a lot of the interns had already kind of met as a community and kind of got to know each other and went through the process of learning the COA and how things went here, the policies, procedures, staff meetings and such together. But I wasn't in that process because I was down in the veterans office and there ended up being a little bit of an issue. So at that time, after about a month, I pretty much started working out of the COA office exclusively. So yeah, there was a little bit of a disconnect in the beginning, and then what I learned is that the COA was all about collaboration. So it was definitely where I wanted to be, and so yeah, I do remember a little bit, but it seems like it was a long time ago.
How would you summarize your experience?
I think it's been a really successful internship. Again, I was concerned because I did have experience that coming here, maybe I wouldn't be challenged enough, but it was actually the complete opposite, and I was challenged way more than I ever thought possible. And it was really good because I got a lot of hands-on experience with mental health clients, which I didn't have so much of before. So that was really positive, and I was able to find my niche. I think the only thing that I would change is space. It felt really crammed at times. Kind of fighting over space was difficult, but kind of learned to adapt.
My experience was a great experience. It was not always easy because I had to get adjusted, and English is my second language, so it always challenged me, but I learned a lot from this experience. I grow as a person and my self-esteem, and I love what I'm doing. So it was challenges at times, but I really do like to be here. I like to do social work, and I love to work with the
So
elderly.
for me, it was a really good experience because I got to connect a lot of those resources with my macro project. I did my BSW. I did my BSW placement here as well, and doing the Veterans Breakfast Seminars, which were a series of information seminars we did. Really brought in a lot of people, and it was a lot of exposure, and it was a lot of planning and collaboration. So I'd say that was probably one of my biggest successes, personally.
What's your advice for those thinking about supervising interns?
I think it's a very positive experience. I think every COA should be able to have interns because it really does help the elders. We can provide a lot more services when you have interns. A lot of times staff, COAs can't be funded with a lot of staff because of money. So the intern not only gets experience, but the COA gets more hands-on and is able to help seniors.
To ask as many questions, to be organized and to be prepared, and always ask questions when something is not clear. Even you already have received the answer, the answer, ask again.
I would say the biggest thing is find out their learning style, how they learn information. Find out how they learn stuff when they come in. For me, I'm a kinesthetic learner, so I have to do to learn, which can be a deficit. You put me at a deficit at first. So I need to be really hands-on to learn stuff. I don't learn through I don't read something and learn it. I have to do it. I don't need a lot of supervision in that. I don't need someone over my back giving me micromanaging. Like if you give me a task, I can do it. I might need to come back and ask for specifics or touch base again, but that's my style.
What should an intern expect from a supervisor in the placement itself?
They should expect, or I would hope, for myself, I think I would expect, and I would hope other interns would too, that you get a lot of hands-on experience. And I feel like it's a supervisor's job to create those opportunities for you. The best part about social work is that you learn the most when you're in the field and you have that hands-on experience. And I also feel like it's really important for them to provide the clinical piece of it.
I would say to have time once a week It's very good to have that individual meeting once a week and to answer all your questions and to guide you through the process. So wherever you need help, even it's help with the computer, how to set up things, or if it is help how to ask a question to a senior, or where to start, which application to use. So just expect that the supervisor is guiding you through the process and giving you the information you need in order to be
For me,
successful.
it's knowing clear guidance. For me, I need to, and I come from a military model, so knowing who my chain of command is when something happens, who I need to report to, not having too many chefs making the stew, so to speak, like knowing that I report to this person, like that really works for me. And this was like perfect placement. Just, you know, for me, just speaking for me, because there are some people who might learn differently or think differently, but for me, I just felt like there was a lot of open-minded people here, and just it was a good atmosphere for being an intern, for interning in social work, and you get exposed to a lot of things here. You know.
Would you like to share any comments or stories that made an impact on you?
I think the former director here, was one of the best supervisors that I probably ever had, and maybe even ever will have. I think she created the best environment for my internship. So I think a lot of my positive experiences come from her, and I've learned a lot from her. So that was the best part.
Difficult questions like, have you considered to end your life? That was a question that was really difficult for me to bring across, and doing it, I learned it's just a question like every other question we have to ask sometimes in order to help our seniors and to help our clients. So that was a very challenging question for me.
I would say the biggest impact I had was at the beginning of my placement, in thinking that I was going to be like in the liaison between the VSO and the COA, and then finding out that there wasn't camaraderie amongst my fellow veterans. Being an Iraq Afghan vet, I thought that wouldn't be the case. I thought that I'd be seen as a resource there, and it wasn't. So I'd say personally for me, you know, finding out that having that happen was kind of a learning. I mean, it's conflict and workplace culture, and just learning that lesson.